learning lesson. Yeah.
Check, check.
Expect to go less.
Yeah, at least, yeah, just 5 or something.
It was fun. There's some boys got to see.
Okay, here we go. Mic check. This is number 1. Mic check number 1. Check, check, 1, 2. This is mic number 3. Mic number 3. Check, check. 1, 2, 3. Mic number 4. Mic number 4. 1, 2, 3.
Where you could like
4.
basically buy a kid and then pay a certain amount of money and leave a message and they put it on the app.
Mic number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mic number 5. Check, check.
I saw you. Thank you for remembering me.
There's not a general sign.
So now I gotta get a message to my mom.
Mic number 6. Mic number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Mic 6. This is the wireless mic. We're using this for our student reps. Wireless mic for student reps. 1, 2, 3. And then this is the podium mic. Podium mic. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Podium. Check, check. 1, 2, 3.
Hi. I'm good. How are you?
Okay. Check should be good, hopefully.
Yeah.
It's up on 1, 2. Thank you.
Well, yeah. What's she doing next year?
She's going to Tiffin University in Iowa. Professor Sarah North there. She'll be a senior second.
Changes. Okay. There you go. Somehow, you know, like, because you know people, like, on TikTok or Facebook.
Oh my gosh. Don't.
It is like the best life of my day.
Is she killing you?
She is killing me.
Yeah,
She
I
is
know.
killing me. I'm enjoying
Yeah,
her.
I don't TikTok. But Danielle,
Like, and she's so
we have a
funny though.
recliner couch, right? Danielle's over here, and I hear face voice. I'm like, oh, let me see what she's got tonight.
Oh my gosh.
And
She's so funny. She's like
she's a
self-deprecating
good
humor. Yeah.
she's a very good speaker.
Yes.
She goes for it.
We gotta get you to motorize one of those.
She's very
around this building.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like so
I'll tell her.
afraid to follow her. I don't
But negative.
She shows up on my page every day. That'd be weird if Mrs. follow her, but Mrs. Alec didn't follow me. Because you make her laugh every day. So funny.
I look at Danielle.
Like she's always got like Seinfeldish humor,
Yes,
right?
yeah, she does.
She is funny about nothing. Yeah.
Great sense of humor. Cuts right to it.
So now
And she's home, her
where is
and
she?
Luke are home. She like cuts it up.
Yeah. No, where?
She is working, living in Olean.
Oh, so she's a
works for,
Bonaventure.
she still works for Bonaventure.
Okay. All right, that's what I
Yeah, she
thought.
does. She's,
So my girlfriend Mary, her daughter is a assistant district attorney. She was in Cattaraugus County. She's now in Lee County. She lived in Or so.
yeah, which she just moved, well, it's like a mile.
Two more seniors.
Allegheny. So she wasn't in, down the road.
Maybe two more seniors, but it's not, you're the only one who's signed up.
It's fun when you're going to college.
Sure.
You want to make sure.
One left.
Yeah.
Not bad to
Check, check, one, two.
Did you see his truck? It was like first time. She's trying to marketing communications. She's good at it. I told her to start.
It's going. Good. I literally just got back from camping. Ran in the shop. Ran.
Service hours are done. You sure? Yes. We have to give at least one senior, just like we do that.
You can always call Jason and ask. He's got the chair, but you can't really hear from here. As soon as you start, do my thing.
Everybody, we're just going to start in a minute or two. We were just wrapping up our tenure retiree reception and the high school cap. So just bear with us for a minute more. Thank you. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Once again, thank you for being here tonight. Obviously, the purpose of this meeting is a public hearing based on the board's adoption of a new revised budget, which will be on the ballot for voting June 16th here at the high school from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. I want to begin by actually thanking everybody in this room and everybody watching online or watching later this week. The revised budget you will hear about tonight is not just the work of administration, but it really is representative of the community at large. It also includes information we received from voters after the May 19th vote, people who emailed or texted or shared with our administrators or teachers in various settings on the island, even at TOPS. We have listened, and the budget in front of you tonight reflects that. The original budget was asking for a 2.69% tax levy increase. This revised budget proposes a 1.5% tax levy increase. For those of you who are interested in the numbers, for a $397,000 home, the tax levy increase of 1.5 equates to approximately $71.46 more a year. If you apply basic STAR to that, it drops to $65.49 more a year. That can also be looked at by the month at $5.46 more a month or $1.26 more a week when basic STAR is applied. The total spending plan now stands at $81,185,805, and it's $500,000 less than what we considered in May. Those reductions were drawn from hard work, looking line item by line item. They represent decreases in what we budgeted for utilities, for BOCEs, for travel and staff development, for legal expenses, for district supplies, for district repairs, for personnel substitute expenses, for school equipment, not all school equipment, but a portion of school equipment, and health-related benefits. No classroom program has been reduced, no teaching positions have been reduced, no student-facing program has been reduced, including athletics, music, clubs, modified sports, after-school activities, buses for after-school activities, summer learning, etc. I also want to be really candid tonight about what is not in the revised budget. It's very important to understand that the capital improvement project that was voted down in December has nothing to do with the May vote and had nothing to do with our May budget proposal. Those decisions about capital improvement will be rested on the entire board in the months ahead. I mention this only because I have heard that it's been conflated, that the two things were connected, and it certainly is not. A second thing has not changed since May 28th, and I want to repeat it tonight because the stakes have not softened. If this revised budget does not pass on June 16th, New York State education law requires us to adopt a contingency budget. A contingency budget is not chosen by the board. It is set by a state formula. Under contingency, the tax levy is held at zero, and the cost is paid really through programs and the items I mentioned earlier. We lose the ability to purchase new equipment. We lose the ability to purchase buses. We are required to charge every community group that uses our schools right now, particularly those who use our schools for free. It's not allowed by state mandate. That includes all youth programs, scouts, our community education, our town rec uses our facilities, and even the Piranha Club, which uses our pool on a regular basis. Also, under consideration, due to a contingency budget, would be the elimination of travel, conferences, field trips for music festivals in the county or the state, field trips to Eco Island, field trips for DECA. Also for consideration would be the elimination of modified sports, the elimination of non-league JV contests, the elimination of extra class activities and student clubs. Intramural activities would also be under consideration for being cut. This district hires many of our own students back to work in the summer. We would not be able to do that. Any non-essential student travel would be cut. Continuing education programs, as I mentioned, wouldn't have access to the free use of our campuses. We already mentioned that we wouldn't be able to purchase equipment such as furniture. We would have changes in our buildings and grounds and maintenance equipment. We wouldn't be able to, as I mentioned, have a lot of transportation to field trips, etc. We would have to eliminate overtime except for snow removal. We would eliminate after-school busing, capital expenses, architectural fees, mentoring and professional development, etc. A contingency budget includes all those programs and touches students directly. All of that comes under pressure with that contingency. None of those outcomes make our schools stronger. None of them lower a single family's bills that they have to pay at the grocery store or at the gas pump. They simply quiet the things that make Grand Island strong. I do not raise contingency to alarm anyone. I raise it mainly because it's the honest consequence of a budget that fails twice. And because every voter deserves to understand those consequences on June 16th. The purpose of this meeting tonight is to listen to concerns whether you are not in favor of the budget or you are in favor of the budget. Your voice is truly welcomed here, and your time at the microphone is protected. To the board, my colleagues, to families and staff who make this district great, I want to thank you for all that you do. The budget on June 16th's ballot is a careful, restrained, community-shaped plan that protects many of the things that we hold dear on Grand Island. As I mentioned earlier, polls will open on June 16th, right in our high school, starting at 8 a.m. and close at 9 p.m. So every vote matters, and every vote counts. Let's begin, if we could. If you have questions, just orderly, one at a time, join us at the microphone and ask questions of myself or Doug Whalen.
Jim Mulcahy. I have a couple of questions and a clarification. Now, we've listed a whole slew of items that are not going to occur if the contingency happens. But the state doesn't mandate any one of those. That's a discretion by the district which things they cut. You gave a whole shopping list of things that, quite frankly, I think they're just trying to scare people. But going on, the next thing about using the school by outside organizations, they can still use them. Okay?
You're right, Jim, and they'll have to pay for it.
Yeah. Let me finish here.
Okay, sure.
According to the state, use of school buildings and grounds by outside organizations, except where there is no identifiable extra cost to the district. So the Boy Scouts come in and are in a gym, hold a meeting, they got the lights. That's not an extra identifiable cost to have them use it. Now, if somebody comes and uses the pool and you need a lifeguard for 4 hours, that's a cost. But I don't understand why we haven't been charging them all along for that. So, outside organizations can still use this place. The Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts. There's no identifiable extra cost to the district. And then finally, I have a question on, we have the revised budget, and we have a contingency budget, and there's a $650,000 difference roughly. We have a 4% reserve built in, which is roughly going to be $3.2 million on the one that you want people to say yes on. Well, if we dropped that reserve to 3.19, you could have a contingency and you get the same spending, with the exception of buses, as you would on the higher cost one. Because you've got a huge, I don't know if it's huge, but you're at the state max with the 4%. That's something to consider. The people should understand that we have this reserve built in here. And have we ever used all of this reserve?
Thank you, Jim. Anybody else can join us?
So I have two questions. And before I say the first question, just to clarify something Jim said, there's definitely things that are mandated that you cannot spend money on.
That's correct.
Those are typically not things that have a big impact on students. It's capital projects, it's vehicles, it's furniture, it's things of that nature. Those things are mandated. So here's my question, because I've seen a lot out on the internet. So first it is being reported on social media that programs like art, music, DECA, modified sports, intramural sports will be cut if this budget fails. In one post on May 29th, it states Brian Graham was the source of this claim, that it will be cut. This claim is spread widely without correction from the district, scaring the hell out of many parents, grandparents, and residents. Is it true that under a contingency budget, the board must cut programs such as art, music, DECA, and modified intramural sports, or can the board choose to make cuts elsewhere with minimal student impact? My research shows that most districts in contingency budgets, I repeat, most districts do not cut the programs that are most popular with the students. DECA, for instance, DECA, et cetera. My question is, why would this board not consider doing what most other districts do in this case and not cut those programs that is being reported that they're going to be cut out on the internet? So that's question one. Second question. A government official posted on Facebook, and it was shared on Grander Ideas, and it's been shared by him numerous times now, stating that the contingency budget, if this budget fails, will result in an increase to 2.4% instead of a 0% increase in the tax levy. No one's disputed that other than me, but clearly the state mandates it's going to be a 0% increase.
You're correct.
Not a 2.4% increase. And this individual is also saying that he's gotten that information from someone within this organization. And it's a person that should be a reliable source because he also talks to and addresses New York State issues for the island. For him to be putting that out there, it should have been corrected by somebody. So those are my two questions.
Thank you, Mike. Excuse me. So for question number one, Mike, under consideration, I've said those words at the last meeting that we had on the 28th and tonight. There will be many things under consideration that would be directed by the Board of Education if this June 16th vote is a failure.
Your kids on videos saying, I want to be in DECA, I want to be in music, I want to be in art.
Yep.
You have kids on videos saying, and you know,
I don't have kids on video, but I do understand what you're saying.
Putting out PR things on Facebook right now.
So, as I mentioned, we've always said under consideration.
Which means that, you know, I gotta say, if I was on the school board at this point in time, if I knew that a contingency budget would be possible, I would know exactly what I'd be cutting. I wouldn't be putting out saying that these scary things are gonna be cut, which would bother parents and grandparents.
We didn't say they would be cut, but to your point, we said these would be considerations. And then, Mike, I just want to add that if this budget fails on June 16th, this board will come back together to direct the administration on what would be cut in a contingency
Are
budget.
you saying you haven't gained that out yet? Because if you haven't, I would consider that not being responsible. You should know right now.
I'm just telling you that if it fails, this board will come together and we will put everything on the table and the board will direct us on how to move forward.
I just feel it's very dishonest to scare people into voting and not.
Again, I'm not scaring
It's not
anybody,
good.
but thank you, Mike, for your perspective.
everyone. My name is Paula Shook. I've been an Island resident for almost 70 years of my life. And I've watched increment percentages every year of the budget go up. You say it's a few dollars here, a few dollars there. But I pay the most taxes to the school than I even do to the town. And I think everybody on the island does that as well. It's a lot of money. And it does add up. So we have 439 less students from the 1999 to 2000 school year. Yet, as I looked at the original budget, you had increases of expenses for the Board of Education by 23.18%, by $15,000. You had a treasurer increase by 42%, $5,000, almost $6,000, it still adds up. Public information services increased by almost 40%, which was $31,000. Central data processing increased by almost 11% at $100,000. I think there is places you can shave off. Why do we have all these assistant superintendents at all the schools? Why isn't that a consolidated position? Do you need them at every school? Is it really necessary? That's something to think about. I know that most of the administration has contracts, and I know that that is part of the budget as well. There's a lot of money with your health care, with your insurance, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I think with Tier 6 coming, that's something else we need to look at as well. I would really like you to take a hard look at what is necessary versus what you're wishing for and want for. And I think that most of the people, that's where they're coming from when they voted this budget down. Because if you're able to reduce this budget and still keep your programming and services that you had, well, why wasn't that done to begin with? I'm sure there's some areas there that you're going to be able to cut. Thank you very much for your
Just 1 second. I just want to introduce you to our 3 assistant superintendents. This is Jen Fitzpatrick, Cheryl Cardone, and our interim assistant superintendent for business. That's the team. John is in charge of curriculum, human resources, and staff development. So actually his position is combined, and it's really 2 jobs in one. I just want to point that out. We don't have an assistant superintendent in every school. We just want to make sure that you understand that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm very passionate about this, so don't mind me if I get worked up. My name is Allison Ducat. I have been an Island resident pretty much my whole life, for about 42 years. I have 2 girls in the district, and since they started school, that's all I've done. I've devoted myself, I'm a teacher on Grand Island, and I have devoted myself to my children in their schools. So from the 3 people who started speaking, I'm so very sorry that we heard 3 negative comments from the first 3 people who spoke, because this is a wonderful district. And we owe so much to the people who are sitting in this room for working hard day in and day out to provide our children in this district with a wonderful experience. Because our children are going to grow up and become the people who are the leaders of the future. And for us to sit there and complain about every little cent as if, I'm sorry, these people are not in the schools every week like I am, and like the teachers and the administrators. And if you think that these people are wasting money, then please spend more time in the schools, because I am telling you, I watch them, and they are using every cent at their disposal for our children. They are not wasting money. And if you think that, you need to spend more time in the schools in this district and see what our children are facing, what the teachers are facing, what the administrators are facing. I'm a taxpayer. It's not like I don't pay taxes, I do. So I'm so confused when people are saying these things about our taxpayer dollars and nitpicking cent after cent when we're all feeling the same stress. But the people who are actually in the schools day in and day out, experiencing what it's like to run the schools and what these children need, we recognize that the people in this room are feeling that same pain. They are also taxpayers on Grand Island, most of them, all of them. And so they are very conscious of the fact. And they didn't When the budget failed and when the capital improvement failed, because I've sat at these meetings, unlike most of you, these negative people, especially on Facebook. I sat in these meetings. They were very aware of what Grand Island residents were saying. And so they took that to heart. And they went back and they thought, how can we be respectful of these people saying, we're feeling the pinch all across the board? What can we do? And they sat there and they took time out of their schedules to do that. And they came back and they said, here's what we can do for you. And yet there are people on Facebook spreading misinformation, like Dr. Graham said, glomming in the capital improvement and trying to make it seem like they're not hearing us. They are hearing us, and that's the message that needs to be spread. They are hearing us, they heard what we said, they were very thoughtful about the cuts they made while still protecting the integrity of our schools, which is the most important thing because we all live in this community. And when people say, well, I don't have kids in the schools anymore, well, guess what? You live in a community. When they pave your road, I don't say, oh my gosh, I can't believe my taxpayer dollars are going to pave your road. I don't live on your road. No, we live in a community, people. Let's all stand together and recognize the important place that our school district plays in our community. That's not a question, it's a statement. Thank you.
Thank you, Allison.
Aaron Luisos, I too am passionate about this. I have 2 children in this district, boy and a girl, sports, in season, out of season. I too sat up here during COVID. You all know me. And I was up here championing for our children, the district's children, your children, my children, everybody's children. I do the same now. Fiscal responsibility. The children have been held hostage one too many times in this district. This is yet another case of it. It is ridiculous. Make the necessary cuts. Don't hurt the kids' programs, okay? If we're talking about, it's great that you broke it down and you shaved a lot of money off. So it's $71 or whatever this year, and then next year, and next year, and next year, and then throw, like Paula said, throw tier 6 into that mix, and it's gonna be kaboom. If you don't know what that is, Google, DuckDuckGo, whatever. It's gonna be ridiculous. We are all feeling the pinch, all right? I'm just preaching fiscal responsibility. If there are kids in the room or kids watching, this is the time to learn. All right? See for yourselves. Okay? That's all I gotta say.
Thank you, Aaron.
I'll take my mic drop.
John Delbo, 2019 Stony Point. That's okay.
Thank you, John.
I'm here just to offer my support for the school district. I really appreciate the hard work that all of you've done. Many of you may or may not know my mom was a longtime board member in another district, so growing up in it, it's not easy. It's hard. It's many nights away, and I know this adds more work to it, but I know you're putting in that work. My 4 children in the district, Charles, Ruth, Paul, and Josie, and their experience has been top-notch. There are things that they've gotten to do that I couldn't afford. I know a lot of people are talking about taxes, but I view this all as an investment. It's an investment in not just today, but the future. If you have no children in the district, I totally respect many of your perspectives, but just know that you are paying it forward, just like others paid it forward when you were a child at some point. And we have a great opportunity to keep our schools strong. I supported the last budget. Thank you for cutting it down, but I would support that budget again. Because at the end of the day, I know that we're dealing with a lot of strains and the economy and things like that, but really this is an opportunity to invest in our schools and to not take it out on them, because I know these are tough times. We have an opportunity to keep our schools strong. So I'm in support of this, and I hope you are too.
Thank you, John. The This is a public hearing. We still have an opportunity to speak.
Hi, I'm Rob Cove. If I could ask that everyone say their name because I don't know a lot of you, but thank you all for being here. I just wanted to say thank you. You guys do a tireless job. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe the elected board members are paid. So this is a volunteer job. If you don't like what you see, this is a democracy. Come out and volunteer. Sit up here with these folks. Come to the meetings, okay? A few things were said that were disingenuous, and I don't recall your name because with the blue hat.
My name is Paula.
Paula, okay. You said that, and I'm really have short-term memory things, but you said something was 35,000 in 1999, and then it increased significantly, right? You had a lot of figures, numbers, right? According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor, inflation has raised 200% since 1999. So using a number from 26 years ago is not really an accurate assessment of saying where we were with teacher salaries, where we were with what it costs to run a facility. You know, that was before a heck of a lot of things changed in this world.
The number you're referencing is
Yes.
the number of enrollment of students.
Oh, I'm
It wasn't
sorry.
salaries. We have a difference of 439 students less than in the year 2000. That was the number. So I don't know where you're getting the dollars.
I thought you said 35,000. Like I said, you said some numbers and you said it was about administrative stuff, whatever. My point is 200% increase. You can't compare 99 to 2000.
And I didn't say anything like that.
Can I just,
Yeah.
Mr. Cove, you're bringing up some
Sorry.
really important points. Could you just direct your comments
I'm sorry.
to the board?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes. So, like I said, I feel like a lot of things have been said that were disingenuous. I feel that blaming other people that aren't on the board and responsible for things that were said in Facebook isn't really, like, how is that your fault? You know, I can't control what my neighbor writes on Facebook, if it's right or not. You know, it's up to us as citizens to come to these meetings, to read the information that's on the website, to follow the board's objectives and meetings and such every month. Like, this isn't something that you just did last week. I mean, this is something that grows year after year. So I just wanted to commend you. I wanted to say, you know, like, let's take a good look at this because, you know, there's been a lot of points made that I just don't feel are very genuine. You're using things that are, you know, hearsay. If I had said that 20 years ago, you know, people would have said I was crazy, but I can put it on Facebook and it's gospel. So, sorry.
Thank you, sir.
I am also passionate. I don't know.
Mr. Cove.
Thank you. I have one student still left. So, one
Thank you, sir.
graduated.
Thank you very much. Just want to make sure we give everybody time if they need it. Thank you, Aaron.
You know my name, that's a wonderful thing. I'm Erin Bizzard. I have actually 3 children in the district, 2 that have graduated, one 4 years, the other one is in her first year at St. John Fisher, and one still in the district. I have come to you multiple times, that's why you know me by name, with wanting you to have more communication and wanting you to get out information in a more productive, I feel, way. So could you tell everyone that is listening where we can look at the budget in specifics, how it's broken down, where the money is spent? Is there something that we can look at to reference in regards to that?
Can you just be a little bit more clear for Doug and I, just so that we can respond
Sure.
appropriately?
Where money is spent in the budget, like how much
Okay.
is spent in district office,
Sure.
how much is spent on pupil services, how much is spent on teacher enrichment, like a breakdown of cost.
Sure. Doug, I'm gonna, if you wanna just speak a little bit, and Aaron, I'll pull up the budget book, because it is on our website.
Okay.
That might help us too.
Okay, and then, does it also state if we go into this other, budget, what does that look like? How much are we spending in each area?
It is a budget book, and it is quite detailed. Doug? Is that?
What you've had here in the past is you have a newsletter.
Right.
So it focuses on general expenses. It breaks it down in a three-part form. It breaks it down in large amounts, I would say.
Okay.
It focuses on the tax rate.
Is it saying like breakdown of costs, like Sidway needs a new roof, so, you know, like different cost breakdowns of perspectives on what is to occur at different points of the year?
It's so good that you talk about Sidway, right? Roofs would be covered in a district capital project. So this is separate from any roof or infrastructure work.
Okay.
But there's 19 pages of a budget book on the district website.
Okay.
You can go to Board of Education and then hit the
And is
revised
there a
budget.
cost breakdown of like district office right now? I know there's a lot of interim positions being filled and teachers on special assignment. Is there a cost breakdown of what you know, comes out of district office?
Yeah, I think in this budget book, if I'm not mistaken, Doug,
Well,
administration would also be covered,
well,
perhaps?
these are major categories. So it's not going to give you the specific cost of central office in terms of what you're looking for.
Okay.
We do have documents of that nature, and I guess we're using them. If people are interested in them, we can provide them. But
So you'd want someone to
This
put
is-
in a FOIL for that documentation?
I don't think you need a FOIL.
Okay.
Just ask me.
Okay.
But this is the format that you have had for years, and I've been asked to follow it. So you have this budget book,
Right.
you have budget newsletters, we have open forums like this, people that are asking me specific questions, I'm giving them information.
Okay.
So, you know, I came in December, and I'm just following what you do here at Grand Island.
Right.
You have a tremendous school district. That's obvious from everyone I talk to and the students and their academic performances. But this is going to give you an overview of what's required by the state.
Okay.
If you want further detail than this, you have to ask me.
Okay.
I can provide it for you.
Absolutely, we'll be in touch. Thank you so much. I appreciate
Thank
you
you,
all.
Aaron.
I'm John King. I don't really go to many of these meetings. I think the last time I visited a meeting was a joint meeting between the board and the town council, for which we had no opportunity to speak at all, which I was very disappointed in not having that opportunity. So I do appreciate having the opportunity to ask a specific question that's about the budget itself. So the largest item I could see on the budget reduction was 150,000 or something like that for utilities, is what I understand. And I'm just wondering, just in general, how that's going to be handled, given the increases we've been seeing with electric, gas, power, and general energy. And maybe we have a year-long term contract, which means we're insulated from all that. But I think it's like maybe a projection over 5% year over year in that category, but you're reducing that. And I'm wondering, just realistically, with this budget being voted, you know, what's the contingency? Do you take the money if it's a bad winter or whatever, the energy prices continue to rise? How is that handled, and is it a realistic reduction in the budget given that the context where we are now?
Thank you, Mr. Chen.
Okay,
Yep,
say some
and just use the microphone, Doug, if possible. Thank you.
So when I came in December, I did a complete analysis of the past. And to the best of my ability, I'm trying to predict the future. So in utilities, last year we spent roughly $910,000, somewhere in there for all the utilities. And my initial budget, I had $1.2 million. Not knowing, you know, and that's quite an increase, but not knowing the history of the district and, you know, how we use electricity, and, you know, I know they're going up. So we've reduced it now. We've taken $150,000 out of that budget, and we've got just over $1 million, so it's $1,040,000. And it's about 14%, 13.5% increase. So when I'm asked to shave off numbers and not affect the program, because we don't want to touch any of the programs for the kids, we don't want to do that, I'm doing the best I can to estimate these costs, given a very short history. So there's about 13% in. If that's not enough, and it might not be, then we'll have to move money from another portion of the budget. But a lot of these things in the budget are our best guess. It's a budget. And, you know, how much do we have in health insurance? How much? We budgeted $4 for diesel. It's now $6 a gallon. So there are some things that are pretty close. You know, I am disclosing to certain people that ask me about the reserves and about the 4% balances and how that can be used. And there is some good discussion that can happen in the future. I've asked the superintendent if we could do like a finance committee, a subcommittee. And let's take this budget, break it down, and let's have the public understand more about it. But I'm doing the best I can with the history that I have. So in terms of utilities, we might be close.
So is what I'm hearing perhaps is a 13.5% gap in the risk management of that budget portion for energy?
Yes. In those terms, yes. It's about a 13.5% increase from our last year's spending. So is that going to be appropriate?
Yes, the question is it.
That's the question. And to the best of my ability, I'm giving that a good shot. We'll see what happens. And as we monitor, I have the people in the Buildings and Grounds Department, every time we pay utilities, they're recording it on an Excel spreadsheet, and we're looking at that, and we're judging month by month how that's going. So that's what we've been doing since I've come in December with most of the accounts.
So are there procedural things that are being done to try to mitigate that?
100%, yes.
Do you have details of
Sure.
what kind of things?
Absolutely. It's fascinating, actually. We've talked about shutting down computers automatically at 10 p.m. at night. So that is a tool in the tool belt that will reduce energy, every day. We did that actually when I was an assistant superintendent in West Seneca. So it's definitely something we're exploring to make sure that computers that haven't been properly shut down aren't drawing energy, for example, right? And as you may have noticed, when you leave this room, the lights go off automatically. We have systems in place. We've put in LED lighting all throughout all of our buildings and parking lots, which reduces energy costs too. We're even thinking about solar and what we can do with solar. We have to wait for our 2 roofs, the high school and middle school, to be reconstructed in a capital project. Once that's done, we would love to put solar panels up on the roof to generate as much energy as we can and credits that will help reduce our costs. And we've even explored solar in some of the land that we own.
Okay, thank you. I was just trying to understand the budget question at hand rather than go off in all kinds of different directions.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chen.
Nicole Vacanti. I have a question question. It was documented in the bridge that Grand Island, along with West Seneca, pays for 2 children to be bused to Fredonia. What is the cost of that, and why are we doing that?
Yeah, so it's a great question. I'm gonna speak about it, and then Doug and Cheryl can fold that in. Do you wanna go first?
It's not a Fredonia,
It's Monroe, BOCES, and Rochester.
Well, it said Fredonia in the bridge.
Right.
I think we're going to Fairport.
Fairport, thank you.
Regardless.
Yeah, I'm just gonna, I can't talk about specific students, but there is a child that lives in Grand Island and needs specific services that are provided at Monroe BOCES. We also, that child's sibling, I believe, lives off island. Cheryl, is that correct?
Correct, in West
Yeah,
Seneca.
in West Seneca. So we've combined forces to make sure that we can provide that transportation to what is documented on their individualized education plan.
So how then does the district decipher? Because isn't it like a 25-mile radius for children who want to go to parochial schools, that the island will bus them?
It's very different. Doug and then Cheryl, maybe.
15 miles for parochial schools,
Okay.
so in each direction. The case you're talking about is a special needs child. And there is no mileage limitation there. It's where it's determined that that program exists for the child. So in this case, it's Fairport, New York.
Yeah. Cheryl, without revealing any private
Yeah, I don't
information.
expect you to reveal the students.
No, that's okay. So, you know, part of the student, that, you know, you're questioning about, is also, from a group home. So a lot of times when students are transferred from one district to another, from group home to group home, we inherit that placement, you know, for them to continue going to school there. I will tell you, if a student is in a group home, we do get reimbursed 110% for those particular students to offset the cost of the program, transportation, et cetera.
So these are school-aged children?
Correct.
Living in group homes?
Correct.
Okay. So what is the island paying, along with West Seneca, to bus these 2 students to Fairport, New York?
The exact number, we would have to get back with you, Nicole, on that
I
exact
think
number.
that's important for us to have.
Yeah.
And
But please understand what Cheryl shared. We have to front those costs in every budget, and then we get state aid sometimes, as Cheryl said, 110% back. But we have to front the cost.
So why would you then put that in the bridge?
I think it's important for everybody in the community to know that if this budget goes down, we can't buy new buses, right? And on this Proposition 2, we were asking, I believe, Teresa, for a wheelchair bus, correct? Yeah. So we just want people to understand that this is a complex, you know, organism, for lack of a better word. We take care of all children to the best of our ability, and sometimes we have to front costs on the front end to get aid back on the back end. But if this goes down, we can't buy that wheelchair bus.
So Grand Island is not buying wheelchair buses?
We do. I'm just saying we can't follow our bus replacement if this goes down.
Okay. And also, it was in one of the papers, it stated that we're still paying off buses. Is that correct?
Yeah, there's a debt service plan Doug could speak to.
So we're still paying off buses, but yet we need to buy more buses?
We have a replacement plan.
We have a 10-year replacement plan, but when we have a proposition, like Proposition 2, we finance it over 5 years. So when 1/5 of that payment, principal and interest, falls off, this district has put up another proposition, and that 1/5 blends in with the one that drops, so it just continues. And what's in the budget is the interest that would be estimated for the payments for the buses.
Got it. These new buses that the district is hoping to purchase, are they electric buses?
No. Thank you, Nicole, for asking that question. I have a whole thing I can say, but go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, that's okay. With Hochul's mandate that buses are going to have to be electric by 2030, what is the point of, well, maybe she extended it a year.
Yeah.
What is the point of
Sure.
spending all of this money on buses if we're going to have to replace them?
Right.
with electric buses.
I think it's important, and maybe you've heard me say this, countless times. We're not in favor of Hochul's mandate, and it's not just Grand Island.
Oh, I know that.
Almost everybody in the state sees this as a problem.
Yes.
Directors of transportation, fire companies see this as a problem. Superintendents have been advocating against it. Assistant superintendents, administrators, right? And our legislators, to be honest with you. We have excellent people that represent Grand Island, and they see that this is a problematic mandate. With that said, it was true that by 2035, everybody was supposed to have purchased all of these buses. It's just not feasible, it's not appropriate, and it's a misguided mandate by New York State. By 2027, we were to purchase our first electric bus. In this new budget, there's a new law that pushes that mandate out 5 more years. And if I'm going to be a little snarky about our leadership in Albany, 5 years would be after the governor has served this next term if she gets elected again. So it's very strategic that the push out is 5 years. So we're fortunate, and all districts are fortunate, that we do not have to buy an electric bus, at least until those 5 years are up.
Okay, so you just said you have to buy one by 2027, but it's pushed back.
It's pushed back 5 years.
Okay.
Sorry.
If it gets pushed back, does it then entail us getting these electric pumps, chargers?
You'll never see us advocating for chargers or electric buses until such time as that we're truly mandated and there's no change in the law.
Okay. So you'll get me the number on how much we're spending this time?
We already know. It's $496 a day.
Okay.
Yeah, $496 a day.
And they go 5 days a week?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Nicole.
Hi, my name is Emily Dinsmore. I just wanted to talk a little bit to the buses. I know I'm supposed to direct at you, so Nicole, that's why I'm not turning around and talking to you, but so I have an interesting position in that I used to work in school finance as an attorney. I was a bond lawyer for about 7 years and worked, including some of the school financings. I worked for Hodgson Russ. I worked on the financing side. So I don't have all of the things memorized that I used to because I haven't done this for a few years. But New York State, you're only allowed to borrow for 5 years for buses. Your loan, your bonds, which is essentially like a loan, right, can only be 5 years in length. So that's why there's a mismatch between how long we own the buses and how long we finance them for. Because you cannot finance a bus for more than 5 years. And so that is why school districts have that rolling financing plan, because the problem is, and there are others here who could speak to that more specifically, if you let your buses, if you don't finance buses every year on that rolling ban basis, your maintenance costs end up being higher than, much higher than if you had purchased the buses in a timely fashion. Further, that leads into delays, which leads to longer bus rides for just students going to Grand Island schools. This happened to Springville Griffith schools I want to say about 10 plus years ago. I cannot remember the exact date. And it caused all sorts of problems with their transportation routes. I cannot, obviously speak about these students. I will say it is unfortunate that we have to wait for state reimbursement for funds, right? That we have to put up that money in the first place. But we don't have a choice on that. And that is a state mandated thing. And I've been thinking about this a lot with some of the budget issues. So much of what happens is that we get a state mandate. And by we, I mean any local community, any local school district. And so the school district has to figure out how to make that state mandate happen. Right, we've all discussed that the electric buses cause problems, especially in rural areas. I believe that if we continue that pushback on the state level, hopefully we will not have issues on Grand Island, although I would think that Grand Island would be a slightly better community for electric busing in general, just because we have defined boundaries, right? That's a separate note. But that's how it is. I mean, like so I work for the state. I am a professor at UB, and I'm going to travel to a conference in July, and because I am a state employee, I have to pay for my conference travel ahead of time. You know, I have put $2,000 of my own money up for this conference, and I have to wait for the state to eventually reimburse me. And it's terrible, and I hate it. But if I want to be better at my job, that's what I have to do in order to make that happen. And so a lot of these things that we don't like are very much state issues. And that's all I have to say.
All right, thank you so much.
Hi, good evening, Liz Goss here. I have 3 kids currently in the district. I won't take long, but I do want to come up to just say some thank yous to everyone sitting up here. So to those of you that are paid salary, thank you for your time. I know you go above and beyond what your job requires. I know you go above and beyond the hours, so that is recognized by a lot of people that are here. I know a lot of times at these meetings, it doesn't feel that way. Those of you that are board members, it's very much recognized that this is volunteer time. And you're taking a lot of heat, especially last month. So thank you for volunteering your time to do that. It's recognized. We know you're advocating for your children. We know you're advocating for our children. It's very much appreciated. I also want to point out some other things that I recognize and that I know talking to a lot of other parents, we recognize as well. I heard some things about people questioning the fiscal responsibility. I took some time before the last budget vote to take a quick analysis of the last 10 years of the Grand Island District budget. Our budget has remained under inflation over the last 10 years. To me, that's extremely fiscally responsible. So, costs have risen. You guys have managed to keep us underneath those costs rising. I also want to say I recognize your expertise and I trust it. One of the beautiful things about the internet is it gives us a lot of information, but I think one of the setbacks to that is we now have a lot of people that, and I'll say myself included at times, think we're experts in a lot of things that we're not. So I do recognize we've got a lot of people on the board here and behind the scenes that are advising you guys that are very, very well educated in what they're doing and know what they're doing. So we appreciate the expertise. I recognize it. And I really trust it, so I appreciate that. Want to recognize that it was very much seen that you were receptive to feedback after the capital project was voted down. I know I definitely saw the difference in how you addressed the first proposed budget. I definitely see it in the second proposed budget here. And even your enthusiasm with the increased participation, whether it's negative or positive, I think that's great. There's not always a lot of participation from the community in things like this, so increased participation is great, and you guys have been fabulous with that feedback, regardless of if it's been positive or negative, so thank you for that. And the last thing I do want to recognize, I know I heard people talk a little bit about fear-mongering with the messaging. I'd like to point out that I recognize you are putting that out there as urgency. I know as a mother who has 3 kids in the district, one of which who's in DECA, that's her main thing. I've seen her grow and thrive in it. It's been a blessing to us and just absolutely wonderful for our family, for our daughter. So the idea of not being able to travel to those conferences and do those things for her breaks my heart. She saw that right away and her heart was broken. So I appreciate that you guys are transparent with the types of programming that could be impacted. And I recognize that that's not fear-mongering, but it's trying to have an urgency so that people really do understand the student impact. I think it's very easy sometimes they see numbers, they don't see students' faces. So I appreciate that you guys really recognize that and are trying to find a way to communicate that to everyone clearly. So I appreciate that. And then last but not least, for any of the teachers that are here, and I know that are watching and will watch later, thank you to all of you guys, because I know you guys are doing a lot in the trenches as well. And I know, in my opinion, education across the board is completely underfunded. I know you spend tons of your own money, tons of your own time to invest in our children. So across the board, thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. We appreciate everything you're all doing.
Thank you, Liz.
budget is $629,855 less. What is the cost of all the student-facing programs that you are considering cutting?
The costs vary.
i.e. modified sports, non-league JV, athletic events?
Sure. I can just recall approximately modified sports costs about $85,000
For all students throughout the school year?
for modified
All grades?
sports. Modified sports.
Or just middle school?
Yep.
Okay.
And Nicole, if this budget fails, we will go step by step. This board will direct us, right, in what should be cut to make sure it's a 0% increase in the tax levy. So we have those numbers. I don't have them all memorized, but we would be having a special board meeting to go over everything that would be eligible to be cut.
Well, I would hope that you would have been able to provide these numbers because all these things are listed as student-facing programs that are going to be cut or potentially
Well, to
be
be
cut.
under consideration.
Yeah, under consideration. So roundabout outside of modified sports being 85,000 with all these other things, like
Yeah.
rough figure.
Yeah, we
How
would.
much is that?
The board would direct us, so it could be all of the things that are under consideration or some of those things, right? So that we would, in our contingency budget, the board directs the administration on what to cut. So we would provide them every number, every dollar value, so that they have the best information they can.
But
to
right
make
now, you don't have a number as what
It's
all
about,
this
it's about 1.2 million.
total.
total with all the student
Right.
facing. What about the
No,
operation?
no, I just want to clarify, it's not with all the student facing. So we've already cut 500,000 of the 1.2 million, right? And those cuts don't have any student facing programs,
Okay.
right? So the 600 additional thousand
So that could
could
potentially come
impact
from the
students.
student facing or
Correct.
the operation staffing and facilities.
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole.
My name is Susan Mertz, and I do have the budget book in front of me. And I just have one specific question I hope you can address. Under the capital component, line item 9711, where it says serial bonds, principal interest, school construction, it looks like there's an increase over last year of over 1.3 million. And I just wonder if you can address what constitutes that increase?
I don't know specifically, I don't have it in front of me, but those are the bonds that you're paying for your debt. So whatever debt we have, whatever past capital projects we've had, whatever debt we have with school buses. So I'd have to look at the debt schedule. When I got that from the treasurer, I just placed those numbers in the budget.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there an attorney expert who wants to us? Thank
So
you.
sorry, I don't have those specific numbers in front of me either, and I'm not the district treasurer, so I don't have, but oftentimes the way that the bonds are structured is that the later bonds will have higher interest rates. And so I'm not saying, I don't know, but I just know from my experience that sometimes that's what happens. So even though no new debt has been authorized, because under New York State law, capital improvements projects, right, are a separate budget, or not budget, excuse me, separate vote that have to be authorized either through a special vote that happens, not on the same day as the vote, or at the same day as the annual vote, right? And so it's a whole thing, and every time that you do it, you have to create the same, you have to create notice and hold your vote for a certain date, and, all of those same requirements. And so, and so the district authorizes up to however much in bonds. That's what's voted on, right? But then when those bonds are sold to investors, the interest rate is determined at that time, right? So the number of bonds is not the total including the interest, right? You have to pay the interest on that as well. And so it's not, necessarily, so just like if you take out a $200,000 mortgage for your house, and you have with your interest rate, you're paying more than $200,000 over the lifetime of that loan. Same thing with issuing bonds; it's debt, and so if the bonds typically mature Under New York state law, we are not allowed to have balloon debt. As I say, the interest rates may be higher, but that doesn't mean that they're usually significantly higher. New York State actually has a lot of fiscal responsibility policies in effect with debt, because back, I think it was in the 70s, there was a huge problem where communities would take out too much debt for projects that didn't happen, and then they wouldn't be able to repay it, right? So under New York state law, your bonds, they mature every year. You're not, in other states, that's not how public finance works. In other states, a lot of districts can issue debt that have balloon payments that don't come due every year. But in New York state, our debt, it's paid every year, bonds every year. So you have, your 2026 bonds that mature in 26, bonds that mature in 27, 28, even under the whole, let's say that you're taking out a $100,000 bond, 5,000 will be due 2026 plus the interest on it, et cetera. And so as the later ones, if they have a slightly different interest rate than the earlier ones, and that's set by the market, that is who purchases the bonds. That is how that works. And so that's why sometimes they can be, even though the capital hasn't changed, the amount that's due that year, capital plus interest, may vary a bit based on what the interest rate of that specific bond is. I'm very nerdy about bonds if anyone wants to talk to me.
Yeah, we should do a podcast. Thank you. I don't know, be well listened to, Sharon? Good try. Way to go, Sharon. This is an opportunity for anybody else to share their perspective with us.
Good evening, my name's Corey Claire. I have 3 girls in the district.
First name again?
Corey Claire.
Thank you.
I just want to say, I looked at both budgets, the first one that was voted down, as well as the second one. I didn't have any major concerns. My biggest problem is how many people, someone answer this, how many people voted on that?
About 2,600.
And how many people live on Grand Island?
They all have to live in Grand
No, I know. How many people live?
Oh, I think we have 14,000 eligible
We
for
have
ish.
17,000.
17,000, thank you, Jude. The district clerk knows.
Do you see the problem
17,000
here?
eligible.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, I have 3 girls. I just do one personal thing. Dr. Palachi and Mr. Pakula, amazing principals. They deserve a raise. Partially kidding, but yes, they do.
Their contracts are up next year.
You better resign.
But
it's when you have 2,600 people voting and we have 17,000 people who live here. I mean, that's, and I know it's not just those 2,600 people who have kids. I mean,
More communication.
I'm for more communication, more transparency. I think you guys have been transparent. I think there could be more. Our definition of transparency these days is a little weird and wonky. So we'll go with it, but I just don't want anything to be affecting our kids. No kids facing programs being cut or anything like that, because some of those programs are what keeping at least my oldest kid out of jail. Partially kidding again. But that's all I've got. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kristen Purick. I am a resident and also an art teacher at Sweet Home High School. So I know like this whole thing, because we just went through all this. So I love you guys for putting in this time and effort. It's a lot. In our district, we are cutting all of the retirements by attrition, and that's a huge program loss for our district. And our vote did pass. So I hope people know, I hope that the community is aware. Yes, to follow up on what you said, more people need to come out for this vote. That's huge. It only failed by 72 votes. So like this is like every vote counts, and I can't stress it enough for people to get out there and vote. I also want to like follow up. I know Nicole had asked about the busing. I hope that people realize, and I don't know if it's really public knowledge, when there's an IEP, when there are students with special needs, those are state mandates that have to happen. The district spends an extraordinary amount per special needs student, and I hope that people realize that. Like, that has to happen. There is no option. That is a state mandate. But I think the world of our district. My kids, I have 2 boys in this district, and I think they're doing a great job. And I would hate to see anything programming-wise be cut, especially in the, arts, music, tech. All of those are really important to me, obviously. But I thank you guys for everything you're doing, and I'm going to encourage the people that are here to get the word out, make sure people vote. And it is our whole community. I love what you said, Alyson. It's our community. You are talking about our future. And for people to it's $77 and I get it. It's a lot. And we're all feeling the crunch right now. It's insane, but it's our future. That's what you invest in. So, thank you.
Thank you. Really want to thank everybody that came here today, people who are watching online and will watch this later. This is the last opportunity before we close out the public hearing to receive any more feedback from our community.
How you doing? You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you.
I'm Dan Oliver.
Hi, Dan.
I got a question on the contingency. What happens if the budget doesn't pass and the contingency takes over? What happens with the buses?
Yeah, so first off, we can't buy any new buses, and we can't buy any new equipment, right? So that ends, right? That's important. Secondly, the board, if this were to go down, the board will come together at a special board meeting before the end of June, look at all of our finances and direct the administration on what else needs to be cut. Under consideration could be field trips, right? We do a really nice job with field trips to Eco Island, field trips for music, field trips for the fine arts, field trips for our athletic programs, field trips for our academic programs. So those would be under consideration.
So the buses are out?
If this is a contingency, we can, the Proposition 2 would fail.
This particular vote?
Say it once more.
For the buses, for this, if this budget passes on this vote?
Yeah. If this budget passes on June 16th, then both of our propositions would move forward.
Okay.
Jude, did I misspeak? No.
It's still the 4 buses?
Yeah, Doug, can you speak to what's on Proposition 2? I believe we took off one vehicle, not a bus. We kept our buses. The van, yeah. We can pay for that through the C Fund, which is a fund specifically for food and nutrition. We can't use those resources for anything else except for equipment and food nutrition. So we'll.
Why do we need that 20 passenger bus? The wheelchair one?
Yep. So
you can't make the 29 wheelchair?
Yeah, I'm not an expert on which buses are wheelchair, but I understand, Teresa, we have one wheelchair bus on Proposition 2. We can't adapt a different bus to be a wheelchair.
There's a 29 passenger and 66 passenger.
Those are other buses that aren't wheelchair accessible, but they would support our program.
That wheelchair, we have a wheelchair bus, right?
Oh yeah, we do, but we replace them every 10 years.
That one's getting old.
Exactly.
Is there any mechanics in the shop?
We do. We have great mechanics. We just celebrated Rick Staub. I think he received a 100% rating on a specific DOT safety, which is actually unheard of. It's so high. This particular person has been honored 3 years in a row as a distinguished school-related professional, and each year he's in the high 90s, and this year as a mechanic he had 100% in the Department of Transportation ratings.
Well, there is some frustration, on these levies, because it doesn't really benefit myself at all. The school budget. And, with that high assessment last year, and a lot of the older people, their pensions don't increase. And, it's kind of a bad time with that capital project, the splash pad, and this community center and all this stuff. You know, it's kind of a bad time, you know, for this thing to try to pass.
I appreciate that.
But, you know, I know it's tough. I think you guys are doing a good job and you genuinely care, you know. But, you know, guys like me, it's really not gonna benefit me, it's gonna raise my taxes. I'll be fighting it, you know.
Yes, and there is a greater benefit, it's just sometimes unseen. What does this school district mean to 14072, right? We were just rated by Business First as the #1 zip code. On May 22nd, a big article came out. Grand Island 14072 was rated the best zip code out of 50-ish other zip codes in Western New York based on how the school performs, based on the availability of vacant homes. It's so low that we don't have, and thank you, Aaron, for your contribution to making sure that we don't have vacant homes. And overall,
And Mrs. Lamarca.
yes. Oh, Aaron, you're good. Sorry, Joy. But the point is, right, Business First on May 22nd labeled this zip code as the #1 best place to live based on low poverty rates on the island, based on housing accessibility, and how our school performs. So even though your tax will go up by 1.5%, the overall benefit for the entire community, I think, is unheard of. In a good way.
I remember we had pretty limited buses when I went to school here.
Okay, right. Have you met
Matter of
Teresa
fact,
Lisa
the
Day?
bus would break down, there was Gallagher, he'd bring the number 33 out, the diesel, and
Okay.
fix it on the road.
We actually still do that, honestly, and I give our mechanics and Teresa Lisa Day a lot of credit. They will jump in a vehicle and go directly to a broken down vehicle or a vehicle that's in an accident and do all of that assessment. It's actually quite remarkable what I've observed over 10
Sometimes I see a bus
years.
go around the block a couple times, and I'm, well, what's going on here?
Right.
I'm just wondering why
Yeah,
a bus would go around the block.
I mean, I don't know the exact answer, but I would say my hunch is that our drivers know our kids so well that if they weren't available at the end of the driveway or at the bus stop, perhaps they went back to go scoop
Go on
around.
the way home.
Yeah,
They're big blocks.
yeah. I understand. Thank you.
Say around Love and then up Baseline and back up Staley and West River and, you know, it's just thoughts, you know.
Yeah, however, we can be more efficient for sure.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Jen Dorado. I'm very passionate about our kids here, and I'm passionate about our teachers who take their time and their energy to really raise our kids. And I really want this budget to pass because I do want our kids to, you know, get their programs, get their things that they need. However, I do think it would be a benefit to the community to proactively show the community what the contingency plan would actually mean, what actual programs will be cut. This way it gives both sides, essentially, those that fear programs that will be cut, a really big idea of what that be, and then the other ones that think, well, you're just bluffing. This really gives the whole idea of what actually is going to be cut instead of, well, we're assuming that things are going to be cut, but we don't know exactly what those things are. So I think it just gives a broader idea of what those are, just so both sides actually see what that is. So it's not, we're not fear-mongering, or we're actually just, this is what it actually is, so that we have that informed decision of what we're actually passing or what we're actually voting on. But I definitely appreciate everyone coming back to propose a different proposal so that we can make sure that it is equipped for everybody, essentially, because I feel that everyone has different concerns, everyone has different needs, and I think we, should all kind of consider everybody. That's what a community is about, is considering everybody. So, thank you.
Thank you, Jen. Again, I thank everybody for your honesty, your perspective. You all spoke with intelligence, and you asked good questions, and you made great statements. This is the last call for any other additional individuals who want to share with us. All right. I'm going to close the public hearing, but I do want to make sure that the community understands that it's closed. We're going to be transitioning to our board meeting, but before we transition to the board meeting, do any of our board members have anything that they wanted to share? And if so, let's make sure they have a microphone. Charlotte, can you pass that? That's an easier one for some people.
No, I just want to thank everyone for coming out tonight and spending your time here and sharing your opinions and thoughts with us. And we appreciate it. Like several of you said, we hope everyone comes out and votes on the 16th.
I'd like to share some comments. I appreciate everybody's opinion. I think that everybody that's here is here because they care, and I respect the opinions. I just want to avoid any misconception. I serve on this board, and I'm proud to be serving on this board as a product of the district, but I have not had any children in the district, and I don't know if I ever will, but I'm a proud supporter of endorsing this budget. And, in terms of a contingency budget, it is, the value is subjective in the sense of an activity, an item, or a resource that one deems less important might be deeply meaningful to the people that it impacts. So, it's my opinion, every activity, resource, matters.
Thank you, Danielle.
I would also like to thank everyone for coming out and expressing your opinions. When I was 29 years old, I was looking for a place to buy a home, and I ended up building a home on Grand Island, and I am so glad that I did. I did have 2 children that went through this district, and I can tell you as a single mom, not a single mom with child support, not a single mom with every other weekend free, a single mom that truly was on her own raising her children, I am indebted to the Grand Island School District. I'm indebted to Dr. Graham. I'm indebted to the people on this board. I'm indebted to all of the teachers out here, some of whom my daughters have had. My oldest daughter is starting her residency this year. She graduated from UPenn, at an Ivy League school. The education that she received here, she was able to go toe-to-toe with any student that was coming from around the world at an Ivy League institution. She was able to graduate from Tulane University Medical School, start a residency. My youngest daughter was 17 when she interviewed and was accepted to one of 96 spots in medical school, at Lee-Con Medical School. She is in the early acceptance program, pre-med. You just can't put a price tag on the future of our country. You really can't. And public education, if free public school education like you're getting at Grand Island, I'm so grateful that I moved here for my daughter's educations, because I know that they wouldn't be where they are today without the leadership of Dr. Graham in the school district, without this board that cares about the programs. My daughter's participated in a lot of the programs that people here talked about tonight. And it's because of those programs that she interviewed well to get into medical school. It's because of those programs that they've been able to perform well enough to both be doctors. And I can't thank the Grand Island schools enough, but my property value since I built that home has tripled. It's tripled my property value, and it's because of the fact that we have good schools. I'm an educator. I've been an educator for 30 years. I'm in the National Teachers Hall of Fame. I've been a New York State Teacher of the Year. I understand education, not only from working in education, but from being around people in education all over the country. I've met 2 presidents. I've been all over the country for professional development and teaching, and I just don't see programs like this anywhere else. And when I talk to people, they're amazed at the education that my daughters have received. Good schools keep your property values high. That's the only investment I've had as a single mom is my home. So I just want to say that I hope when people are considering their vote, that they're thinking about how it impacts them. Maybe you don't have kids in the district, but you care about your property value, you care about the future. And I just really want you to think about, how this would impact our students. If it would just kill me to come back to this table and have to look out here at all the educators and administrators that have worked so hard and the kids that sit in the audience and have to decide what to cut. I mean, that would be a horrible way to end 9 years of volunteerism on this board, 9 years of advocating for my own kids and other people's kids. It would be an awful thing, I think, for a lot of us to sit up here and have to do. So please get out and vote, text your friends, call your friends, tell them to come to the polls and vote yes for the budget.
Thank you, Ashley.
Very strange.
It's not karaoke.
Yeah, it's a little weird. First, I want to thank everyone. Turn it on.
There we go. I want to thank everyone for coming out. Something to be mindful of when the budget hearing started and the first percentage went up on the screen. One thing that you guys have to understand is that we were very mindful to get that percentage down. We went line by line. Certain lines, if they had certain things in there that we didn't see, or my favorite, that's the miscellaneous line. Let's further define the miscellaneous line. And the district came back at the next budget hearing with a reduced percentage. Then we went back and chopped at it again and again and again. So as a board, we were very active in trying and very mindful of the public because of what had happened with the capital project. A lot of people may not know I've served on this board now for 10 years. I have a 6th grader in the district, and she plays violin, and she loves art club. And it would be devastating to have those items cut. And I'll be honest, excuse me, I'm just getting over a sinus infection. When that budget failed and I got that text message for the first time in 10 years, I cried. I could not believe that our public did not support this district and our students. And it was a tough call when the capital project didn't pass, because I did serve, and we volunteer our time. And I did serve on that also. And to tell your 6th grader certain things, don't pass. And then to get that news as well, it was pretty devastating. And the only thing I can say is to please tell people to get out and vote. This is done with careful consideration. We walk and we visit schools, and the principals, they show us what the school needs, necessities, basic things that have to happen. Cracked floors, roofs, leaks. You see this stuff on Facebook and then you disregard it because people say doesn't really exist, and it does, because we walk these halls and we walk with the administration, and it's prior to the budget where we actually, as a board, see this. So not only are we seeing certain things that need to happen with the schools, we are mindful that the public is asking us to make sure that their taxes don't increase. So we tax the district with something very difficult to say, okay,
we have this much money, but we have this much that has to get taken care of. We don't want to cut student services. We don't want to cut certain spending. We want these kids to be able to flourish. And having a student, a child in the district, very mindful of it, who loves to go to school, who loves everything about it, who has an IEP. So, you know, it's the best thing you could do is just please tell everyone to get out and vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Joy. Roger?
Mine will be real quick. I just want to say also, as an educator, I've worked in several different districts. I've always been very impressed with Grand Island from the top down. Really does a great job of trying to be fiscally responsible with combining positions and trying to do the most with the least amount of impact. It might not always look like that, but having worked in multiple other districts and seeing how those organizations run, I can tell you that it definitely is a strength of this district doing so much. I'm not going to say with so little, but streamlining everything that they do. And I can say from everybody talking tonight, thank you for coming out, but I took away that the number one thing seems to be about the communication and the information that's given out, right? So I really, moving forward, I think I will work with everybody and try to prioritize making sure, because I know right now the way misinformation spreads and you want to make an informed decision, right? So we will continue to work on that, and we will look at new ways and new ways of getting information out to people in a timely manner, so that everybody can make those decisions. So,
thank you, Roger.
Just real.
Yep. One second. Yeah.
Love this past microphone game. I'm Beth Krevlin. My husband and I moved to the island in 2009, largely because of the school district's reputation here. We didn't have children yet. Now we do. We have a 7th grader and a 2nd grader in the district, and I am proud to tell our family and friends who are not from Grand Island that we live here. I have loved our daughter's experiences in the schools. I know, and not to sound like a broken record, people say, tell people to get out and vote. I have done a lot of that myself recently. Every birthday party, soccer practice, piano recital, neighbors on my street, and it's not just parents, it's the senior citizens that live on my street. It's the families without children. I had a neighbor recently who said, I didn't know I could vote. I don't have kids in the district. So it's really it is about getting out and spreading the news, but it's talking to the people that you might not think care or might not understand what this is about, and just letting them know exactly how important this is. And I do appreciate everyone coming tonight. I appreciate the passion. I see friends out here who have become family to me because of the children and the friendships that our kids share. So thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you, Beth. I'm gonna ask Charlotte and Sienna, if you have, as our ex officio student board members, I think we have a traveling mic that can head back to the students. But if there's anything else you wanted to say and share with the community, you're welcome to do so.
Like I said before, I think it's really important for us as representatives.
Can you check to see if it's
Yeah,
okay?
I clicked it out,
Okay,
so-
very good. Just get a little closer, Charlotte, thank you.
We have sat on these meetings and we understand the importance of this budget being passed. And so now we are taking our duty to make sure that we get that message to our peers who are able to vote. And we're definitely going to be doing that. And so any of our seniors here who are 18, go out and vote. 16.
Thank you, Sharon. Sienna?
Yeah, I just think that's really important. I mean, there's a few seniors that are 18, but the kids can't represent themselves. They can't go out and vote yes, so all of their programs don't get cut. So I think it's just really important that as parents and as community members, I don't think there's such thing as it doesn't benefit you, because it benefits everyone on the town. So please come out and vote next Tuesday.
Thank you, Sienna. Sue?
Okay, just to kind of wrap things up, I really want to thank everybody for coming out and sharing your perspective, whether you agree or disagree. It's always great to hear what people have to say. We sit here and we represent all community members. So thank you very much for taking the time, for coming out and sharing your perspectives. I just want to say, as a board member, there's not one of us that wants to cut anything out of this budget. I don't know if there's a board member sitting here at this table that was here when New York State was going to cut our foundation aid. I didn't sleep for 3 weeks because we sat, same thing. We didn't know what New York State was going to do, and there was a lot on the chopping block. And I will tell you, as a board, we came together and we looked at minimal effect of the students. And I think if we got to that point, which I'm hopeful that we're not, I really have faith in our community. But if we do, I think that's where our board will come to, right? Minimal impact on our students. We work hard and we donate a lot of hours here. I've been here 13 years and I've lost a lot of sleep and I've been here for the students. Some will say that's not good enough. Some will say it comes down to dollars and cents. Well, it does, right? My house was reassessed, my reassessment doubled. There's nobody in this room whose taxes went up more this year than myself. $1,000 a month combined, right? I'm not complaining, I gotta figure that out, but I'm not gonna say the students at Grand Island High School don't deserve the very best. Because guess what? That's a doctor that's gonna fix me when I have my heart attack when I'm 65 years old. They're the ones that are gonna help me sell my house. They're the ones that are gonna help my son put me in the ground, right? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And I didn't mean to get this passionate, but I'm just saying. I've been affected. My family's been affected. But we are gonna do our very, very best in the event that this budget goes down to minimize the effect on the students. Because every one of us sitting here has championed for a couple years together, right? 13, 10, 9, right? For so many years. We're not gonna sit here and destroy our hard work over a failed contingency budget, right? We're gonna do our very best to minimize that. But I would encourage everybody to get out because it would be disheartening. Ashley and I are on our way out and we have served hard and long. And we don't want to go out on a bad note. We want to go out on a high note, right? We love the island, we love this district, and we have done a lot for our kids. And that's how we want to go out. So get out and vote. 1.5%, you can make it happen. It can be minimal, and that's all I can say. So thank you very much for coming out, and we'll do our best.
Thank you, Sue. For our students that are here for participation in government, we're going to take a 5-minute break. If you're a student that has an agenda, we will sign it. It's for the public hearing, so that'll count for your big credits. So at this time, 5-minute break. Students come up and we can sign your agenda. Thank you very much.
If I signed them, you guys are good. Hey, how's it going? How are you? How's Robert? He's good. He's good. Is he fit tonight?
about 1 minute, as soon as Jude gets back. Very close to when she gets back. Yeah, thank you. I know we were going to recognize Ben and Max today. Do they have to skedaddle? It's understood. We'll, no worries. We'll talk about it briefly.
That's why I was on my phone, but yeah, sorry.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and call this meeting to order at 8:45. We'll go ahead and start with the pledge of allegiance. Sorry.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, just real quick, a couple housekeeping items. There are 2 emergency exits. There's the door you entered behind you and the door directly behind me. If you could silence your cell phones. I'll do a quick roll call. We have Roger Broker, trustee. Ashley Dare, trustee. Gotta catch my breath. Beth Krevlin, trustee. Jude Kuhn is here. She's just not in the room. She's our district clerk. Dr. Brian Graham, superintendent of schools. Sue Marston, myself. Jay Grover, trustee. Joy Lamarca, trustee. Danielle Bruno, trustee. John Fitzpatrick, assistant superintendent of curriculum, staff development, and human resources. Cheryl Cardone, assistant superintendent of preschool personnel services. I miss saying that. And Doug Whalen, interim assistant superintendent for school business and finance. And we have Charlotte Tower and Sienna Sarkis, soon to be graduates of Grand Island High School. All right, we'll get down, let's get this done, right? All right, so I need an approval for tonight's agenda, so I can get a motion, please? And a second? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried 7-0. And approval for the minutes for the meeting for May 11th and May 28th. If I can get a motion? And a second? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried 7-0. Student ambassadors from
Good evening, everyone. I would like to introduce this superstar, Leah Peppers, to you. She is an 8th grader at BCMS. She is a web leader. She is our student council president. She participates in JV DECA and in Interact Club, thanks to all of our amazing programs at the middle school.
Good evening. As Dr. Placci just said, my name is Leah Peppers, and I'm the student council president at the middle school. I'm here today to represent BCMS, the student council, and talk a little bit about what we've done at the end of the school year. Our last event that we held was a student favorite, our school dance, and it took place in May, and we had a theme this year. It was a night in New York City. Many students attended, and from what our feedback tells us, everyone had a great time there. We just had our student council end of year party and to celebrate how great all of our events have gone this year and all the hard work everybody's put in to make them possible. And as this year is coming to a close, we already are beginning to plan for next year's sportswear sale. In May, the 7th grade attended a STEM field trip to Darien Lake, and we also attended a music competition there that day with the 7th and 8th grade orchestra, 8th grade band, and 8th grade choir. And I'm proud to say we came home with 1st in band, 1st in choir, and 2nd in orchestra. And that was just an outstanding performance from all the students. I watched them all, they did amazing. Along with that field trip, the 7th grade will be making their way down to the Maid of the Mist this week, as well as our 8th grade will be having our field day and tug of war competition. And the 8th grade also had recently just had their Emerging Leaders Conference at the Niagara Falls Convention Center. And there the students learned about different career fields and what each of them have to offer. And we show our thanks to all of our volunteers and staff who made that event possible that day. And lastly, the 8th grade will be having their moving update ceremony on the 23rd, and where they will all be recognized for all their hard work in the middle school, and they'll officially graduate onto high school. Thank you so much for your time, and have a great rest of your night.
We probably should have had you open the public hearing. Nice job. All right. pass over to Sienna and Charlotte.
Very exciting. Today was class day for our seniors here at Grand Island. We started the morning very early. We all met at 2:30 a.m. at the Falconwood at Beaver Island. We honked and paraded around the whole town. Windows down, people were out the windows, they were out the sunroofs.
There were some air horns.
I did hear some air horns. It was fun. I think we woke up a lot of people. It was really nice to see all the parents outside too, all the people that made signs, so that was really cute. And then we came back here, we had breakfast, and then we went into the Odd. We had our big scholarship and award ceremony. All of the departments have their different awards and all of the island scholarships. And then we got lunch, we got our caps and gowns, and then we got to do the parade of graduates, which was very special. We got to go, we started in high school, made our way to the middle school. We went to Sidway, and then we ventured off to Hugh or Kegamine. So it was just really special to, it's a moment that we kind of look forward to all 4 years. We always watch the seniors do it, so it was really surreal and special to see us doing it this year.
Sienna, did you win any scholarships today?
Yeah, a couple.
Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Charlotte, do you have anything? Sienna, were you done?
That's like all for class day, but I was just gonna wrap up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Graduation is June 28th at 10 a.m., which is at Kleinhand's Music Hall in downtown Buffalo. So we're really excited for that. And my last thing, our boys varsity baseball won their last game Friday against Waverly in the state pre-quarters, which was held in the Rochester Red Wings Stadium, which is the AAA team of the Washington Nationals. They won 5-4, and they advanced to the state semifinals, where they will play at Arville Park this Friday in Binghamton.
Yeah.
It's very exciting for them, I know. For them, Mr. Santorio, Mr. Willits, very exciting.
Do you recognize this photo?
Oh gosh.
Is that your sister?
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well done.
I had a sibling in all of the schools today, so it was really special to
Very, very
parade.
cool. Thank you so much. Charlotte.
So last Monday, the high school teachers and administration recognized the hard work of many of our students through awarding the Seal of Civic Readiness to those that demonstrate civil engagement and understanding, the Seal of Biliteracy to students who show proficient levels of understanding in more than one language, and the Seal of Design and Technology, which recognizes outstanding students in our technology department. And then lastly, we recognized students who completed 4 years of the Academy of Finance requirements. And so this was our seal reception night, and a lot of seniors earned these awards, and some of them, several of them, or all of them. It's just really impressive to see all our hard work being paid off. Lastly, we have 4 days left of classes in the high school, and we are looking forward to the end of the school year and wrapping up this year. And tomorrow and Wednesday, there are no classes in the high school for Regents exams, and the only reason people would come in is if you're testing.
All right. Charlotte, did you win any scholarships today?
Yes, I did.
Congratulations. We're very proud of both of you.
The correspondence and good news.
Oh, yeah. Jamie, would you like to go up? Oh, me. Do I have it out of order? Oh, it's in here? Okay, yeah, go ahead. Thank you. No, you're good. Okay.
So, Olivia, you are going to have some really big shoes to fill. We are going to miss Sienna and Charlotte. I will miss having meetings with you guys and talking about different things, but congratulations and good luck next year. It is now my pleasure to introduce you to our 2026-2027 school board member, Olivia Govern. It was a tough process, very rigorous. Over a dozen students this year applied. But from the moment that she interviewed for the role, Olivia impressed us with her poise, her maturity, and her thoughtful responses. She's a student who understands the importance of student voice, and she's never afraid to advocate for herself and her classmates in a respectful and professional manner. Olivia brings significant leadership experience to this position, She's been an active member of Student Council for the past 3 years. She serves as a class officer for the class of 2027, manages her class's social media presence, again, in a very respectful, professional manner, which we appreciate. She also was selected to participate in our district cell phone ban advisory panel, where she worked alongside district administrators, teachers, principals, and the Board of Education to help develop solutions for implementing the New York State's new cell phone law. What stands out the most about Olivia is her willingness to speak up when she believes that something can be improved. I spoke with Ms. Rustowitz, and she said that Olivia frequently leads discussions and leads changes within Student Council. Her ability to listen and represent others and propose meaningful solutions demonstrates the exact type of leadership we hope to see on our student school board member. Olivia believes that students should have a voice in their school, and she's committed to ensuring that their voices are heard. I'm so excited to introduce you to her and to watch her serve next year and get her perspective and the leadership she will bring. Please join me in welcoming Olivia.
Olivia, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you for letting me on the board, and I'm really excited to share my thoughts and everything with everybody.
And just to remind us some extracurricular things that you love to do or engage in.
Well, I'm in student council. I love student council. I'm running to be vice president next year. Hopefully I get it. And I run my class 2027 Instagram, which I love doing. I love being class officer, planning prom was so much fun and everything. I'm also in Interact Club. I just love helping people. And I'm also in yearbook club. I helped out a lot with the yearbook this year.
That's awesome. Yeah. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, well done. Just hang tight, we're probably getting a photo with the board and you, as well as our two outgoing ex officio student members, just in a moment, okay?
Thank you.
She's got to get home by 9.
Yeah, we can do that photo. Charlotte and Sienna, and let's just come up with the board, we'll get a great picture and then get you underway.
Dad's where you're at, right?
Oh, yeah.
Dad's right. Dad's Yes. Like 3 times.
All right, we good? Yeah.
Perfect. That's
All right.
I tried.
Get ready, I'll take 3, and then Al will take on 3, 3, 2, 1, thank you.
David.
Is this your key?
No raising. Do you hear that, Dad?
I am super
You're out, Dave.
Yeah, we were going to recognize Ben and Max, some of our students who helped design a new baseball cap through New Era. And they, in turn, that would be Ben and Max, ended up meeting Josh Allen in this really great ceremony. Unfortunately, we had a long public hearing, so somebody said they had to go home for their bedtime. But we'll try to spend some time, maybe in the summer, to recognize
Did
them.
you see the video? Like, I saw the video of this on Facebook before I knew they were Grand Island students. It was the cutest thing ever. So both your mom and dad are Grand Island grads? Yeah, I didn't know that, but I was watching and I'm like, Josh Allen did such a great job, he always does. It was exciting to watch. Sorry.
No, that's good.
Sometimes I talk.
Thank you.
So we, public comments, sessions, agenda items. Okay, we didn't have this. Okay, so on to curriculum and instruction.
So for curriculum and instruction, you'll see the curriculum update, and that's for your reading only.
Okay, does anybody have any questions for John on our reading only? All right, then we'll move on to personal instructional. Does anybody have any questions before I ask for a motion on the action items? All right, then I will motion to approve instructional personnel PI 1 through PI 10, please. In a second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried 7-0. Do we have any?
Oh, Stephanie, we have an intro. Excellent. Come on up. Let's go.
Right, she's so excited.
Are you introducing Molly Ellenfield?
Yes, she is.
So excited to find out.
It is so exciting to get
All right, thank you, board. Thank you, Dr. Graham. Please join me in welcoming Lisa Carpy as the new speech language pathologist at Sidway Elementary. Lisa, can you please stand? Lisa brings more than a decade of experience serving children from birth through age 21 in a variety of educational and clinical settings. Throughout her career, she has worked with students across a wide range of abilities and needs, including those with speech and language disorders, autism, hearing impairments, and complex communication needs. I think it died.
Yep, it's 9 o'clock, it always resets.
Okay. Lisa is passionate about providing evidence-based therapy that builds on each child's strengths and helps them reach their full potential. In addition to her expertise in assessment, intervention, and individualized education planning, Lisa is known for her collaborative approach, strong communication skills, and dedication to supporting students and families. We are excited to have her join the Sidway team and look forward to the positive impact she will make in the lives of our students. Welcome to Sidway, Lisa.
On to personnel non-instructional. Does anybody have any questions before we move on? All right, motion to approve non-instructional personnel P&I 1 through P&I 6, please. And a second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried 7-0. All right, moving on to finance.
On to finance, 18 items. So I've tried to get through, write memos for each one of the things, but A through J are your action items. First one is budget transfers over $50,000. Then we have a donation from the Leslie Morris Fund, $500 to purchase books. We have GISBA donation for $1,500 for our business department to start a new class. There is obsolete books from the high school. There's 3 buses that we have sold, and the price is there. Obsolete textbooks from the middle school. There's a donation from the Medical Health Associates of Western New York for $3,400 for early literacy, that's growing readers. And there's a donation for $3,200.78 from the Rotary Club, that's going to the same thing, growing readers. There is a request for an installment purchase agreement, and that's how we buy Chromebooks in BOCES. So we have 4,500 Chromebooks in the district, and we have a replacement policy, and this installment purchase agreement will buy 500 new Chromebooks. And the last one is obsolete books from the middle school. So those are the actions.
Does anybody have any questions for Doug before we ask for a motion? All right, can I get a motion to approve finance A through J, please?
No motion.
And a second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried 7-0.
There's 8 information items. First shot in a school lunch report, so it shows you the revenue and the expenses, and we're sitting right now at $151,000. We talked about bus inventory last meeting, so we did a complete look at that with the bus
Thank you
inventory.
for
There's
that.
55 buses and one Suburban, and it gives you the mileages and the ages of the buses. And then we have treasurer's report for March, and we have check warrants for April and May. And then budget transfers under $15,000. They're mostly in athletics. We're moving money around to get new uniforms for the students and sports awards for their upcoming event. And then the last two things are the extracurricular reports, one for the middle school and one for the high school.
Does anybody have any questions for Doug? Well, thank you, Doug. And to Cheryl, was it just your two?
I actually have three quickly. So, yeah, I have one action, just one information. I have two action and one information. Okay? So I'll start with the information first. I have the district school counseling plan for 26-27. We do look at that a couple of times a year in my PPS meetings. It includes the social workers, the school psychs, and the school counselors. Just some changes were some personnel changes. We actually expanded evaluative beings in this plan to encompass grades 3 through 5. We changed our CPI, which is our crisis prevention intervention, now to safety care. And instead of going through BOCEs to train our 60+ staff members, we actually have in-house trainers that train for these de-escalation strategies. We talked a little bit about adding our parent wellness series through family support services. We added Viking Bolt and SID supplies, apparently from Sidway, Stephanie. And we also added our clips. We do have a program called Crisis Leadership Preparedness Solutions that all of the PPS staff uses. We started doing it this year, and we added that to the plan as well. So just some information.
Great.
And then my two action items, our CPSC and CSD program recommendations. If you can have action of those, please.
So we get a motion?
I can motion.
And a second?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 7-0.
Thank you.
On the superintendent's report.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. I won't go slide by slide based on the lateness of the evening, but there is so much to celebrate in our district, and I know the board will review these slides. There's been a lot of amazing things happening, as you heard from Sienna and Charlotte. Also, I think it's important for the board to know that our elementary students engage in multiple weeks, maybe months of project-based learning. And these are some pictures of the most recent Western Hemisphere projects. Our kids were absolutely amazing. You heard about our prom, you heard about our post-prom. How do you like that cowboy hat by Roger? Nicely done, Roger.
Good job,
Nicely done.
He's looking very serious.
Yeah, that's very good. But post-prom is always amazing. You heard about the seal of civic graduations that we had. Of course, you know that we're listed as one of the best communities for music for 15 years in a row. So lots and lots to celebrate. Cindy Booker was the lead for our Kids Zone Relay for Life, so we thank her for that. And I appreciate the board paying attention to all these wonderful things. So I'm just kind of bypassing that. But I do want to thank Jude. Also, in my report to the board, Jude pays attention to the local district clerks, as well as the resolution suggestions by the New York State School Boards Association. So in the agenda today, and it's not for action, but I would like you to look at the New York State School Boards Association suggested resolution about FOIL. And what's interesting about this resolution is that they're indicating that there are a lot of private companies that foil school districts all across the state, and then they sell, they make profit based on the FOIL requests that they receive from districts. So this is just for your review, take a look at it, and I'm sure we can discuss it again in July. But this is really an interesting information, an interesting perspective by the New York State School Boards, so it's there for your review. So, thank you.
Okay, on to the Board of Education report. We do have 2 action items tonight. We have the minutes from, go ahead, Jude. That's okay, I'm trying to listen and I'm trying to read. Okay.
From May 19th and then the full.
Yes, so the, yeah, what Jude said, from 5/19 and the budget revote all inspectors from 6/16.
This is for the
So
class,
A and B, correct,
the
yes.
poll inspectors and the
Yes.
for the new hire.
No, we just have to, for the revote,
Yeah,
we have to, and I added more inspectors onto my.
So A and B for the Board of Education report. If I can get a motion? And a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 7-0.
And we took care of item C already for you.
Okay. And then we do have congratulations for Ashley. We will be celebrating her on Thursday night. She got the Board Excellence Award. Dr. Graham, if you want to expand on that a little bit.
Yeah, you won another award, Ashley. Congratulations.
Oh, here's on the next page.
But yeah, but we're looking forward to celebrating you and your tenure with the board and your participation not only with the board but with the Erie County Association of School Boards. So thank you for your leadership.
I'm going to wrap both the K-Vine and middle school PTA meeting into one bundled report. Both had wonderful things to say about Teacher Appreciation Week success at both schools, and both are continuing to seek volunteers for board positions next year.
Great. So I have the GISBO liaison. I'm just going to do one more shout out for the car show that is June 24th, and also mention the golf tournament that is July 5th or 13th. Which will be back at River Oaks this year, so please get out and support that. As you heard, we did do a $1,500 donation to programs, which is a sewing program, if you didn't read the details, which is very exciting. It's something that Amy Boutte is putting into one of her classes, so it's very, very exciting. I think it's a 6-week program, so it's kind of cool. It's about sewing machines with some supplies, so kind of cool that we're bringing that back, right? Kind of sounds old school, but it's definitely something we could all use because I don't know that I could sew a button on. So, and I'm going to sort of go out of order here and do my round table while I'm feeling a little strong. I really just want to thank the community for their support over the last 13 years. It's been an honor and a privilege to represent the community and the school district that I love so much. As I spoke during the public hearing, I've poured my heart and soul, and I hope I've done right by the students and the staff and the administration of this district. I'm sad that it's over. I'm glad that it happened. I will continue to support students. I've done it since my son was born. I will just find a new avenue. We don't sit here lightly. We make decisions and they're hard. Some are easy, some are difficult, but I've served with a lot of different boards and a lot of great people. And as I leave in this difficult time where we're fighting finances over education, it's very hard for me to leave and not be able to be helpful. But I know in my heart that the 5 remaining, because Ashley is not returning next year either, that the 5 remaining at this table will continue our passion, our path, and do right by the students of our district and by our great staff and teachers. So while I'm sad that I'm leaving, I'm really happy to have been part of such a great organization. You know, my son said to me, Mom, you did 13 years. This graduating class was in kindergarten when we started. So I guess I graduate with you all. So I apologize, I thought I was a little stronger, but I thought I'd get it out before I couldn't. So thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of something bigger than myself. And Jane is closing the meeting. All right, so with that said, public, we did have someone sign up.
I think it was Aaron, I think he signed up for
I think he signed up by mistake, because he did want to speak on the budget. So we will go to committee of whole items, and we'll start with Ryan.
I'm appreciative of everyone coming out tonight and speaking about the budget. I'm looking forward to graduation, and just want to remind everybody to come out and vote on the 16th.
I just want to thank the community for 9 years of support and thank the board members. I enjoyed serving with all of you, and I really wish I could implore everyone just one last time to please come out and vote on the 16th. It's really important. Text your friends and neighbors, call your friends and neighbors, and thank you everyone for just being my colleague on the board. I enjoyed the 9 years that I've spent. I've enjoyed working with you, Dr. Graham. I've enjoyed working with you, Jude. I've enjoyed working with all of the trustees, the administration, and of course, the students and teachers for their support as well. And just thank you.
We'll miss Ashley and Sue, and we're also going to miss Sam and
Just a couple comments as I wrap up my first year on the board. Year one, what a year. Learned a lot, and I have to be honest, there were times I sat and thought, am I making a difference? Am I doing anything? And then in the past month, it really came to light that the work that we do is important and has a lot of meaning, and I have really felt that, so appreciative of that. Sienna and Charlotte, it's been a pleasure having you with us, especially in this inaugural year that we had student representatives on the board. So you were both clearly very involved and didn't need to take on one more task, but I'm glad to have met you and known you and heard all about what has been going on in the schools through your lens. So thank you for that. And Sue and Ashley, thank you so much. It was an honor to serve with both of you. I wish it was longer, but I have appreciated knowing you and learning from you. So thank you so much.
So just a couple things. The vote, as everybody's saying, it's on June 16th, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. There are extra, I did get more poll inspectors, ordered a lot more ballots. I have a representative from the Erie County Board of Elections coming out to sign up anybody who's first-time voters or 18-year-old first-time voters, anybody who's voting for the first time, so we can designate a line just for that, just to keep it moving, even though it was like, I think 13 minutes was the longest somebody was really waiting, but to me that's too long. So I just wanted to put that out there, and thank you to Sienna and Charlotte. It's been such a pleasure working with you this year. So excited for your future and what that might be. I'm going to be watching you. And thank you to Ashley and Sue, 13 years and 9 years. It's awesome. It's been awesome working with both of you ladies. Enjoy a little gift there.
Nope, just thank you, Ashley and Sue, for being amazing mentors and two of the strongest supporters of public education I've had the pleasure to work alongside. So can't thank you enough for your service, and that is all. And also, Sienna and Charlotte, amazing job in the inaugural year of the ex officio board members. You did a great job.
So where do I begin? 9 years, all 10 years. And we've done a lot on this board. I'm so sorry with this cold. But from navigating through the pandemic, that was a challenge. late nights, making sure contracts were equal and fair, and making sure math gets up in one particular school, making sure curriculum is the same, making sure field trips were the same, creating that even playing field, and interviewing for and hiring a new superintendent. I mean, it's a lot of history, so I'm gonna say I'm going to miss you both. Ashley, you were a great, fantastic president. Sue, you were a great and are a great, fantastic president and vice president.
22 more days.
Yeah, it's sad. The first time we campaigned for school board, it was Ashley and I, and her youngest daughter was my daughter's age now, in 6th grade, standing out there helping us hand out pizza and flyers saying, "Vote for my mom," and she was just so cute. A lot of history. I will definitely miss you both, and we accomplished a lot, and we did a lot in these past 9 and 10 years. And forever thankful for being able to bounce ideas off you guys and talk with you and chat with you, and you will be missed. Thank you.
Miss Sienna and Charlotte, thank you for serving. You go above and beyond being here, especially on late nights, so I appreciate you. Ashley and Sue, it feels, I'm not saying goodbye because, I don't know that it's appropriate because I consider you friends as well. And, serving people, what I've come to realize, even if we didn't always agree on things, is the amount of respect that I have for you both, because your intentions have always been the purest of intentions and for the good of the community and most importantly, the good of the students. And it is respectful and it is something that I look up to, and you've served as role models to me. So I thank you both.
So Sue and Ashley, I just want to say thank you for everything you've given to the Grand Island School District, especially to the administrators for supporting us, supporting our ideas, supporting our sometimes wacky ideas, and helping students achieve more. Especially the example you set as supporting not only for education but supporting everyone as people first. So we really appreciate that. And to our 2 inaugural members of the Board of Education, student members, you couldn't have a better 2 to start. So we really appreciate all the effort that you have done to make our board better.
So Sienna and Charlotte, again, thank you. It's been a pleasure sitting with both of you, and thanks for sneaking in with me tonight when we were since we were still serving cake, right? So good luck to both of you, right? So I can say 16 years, right, that I have been in this school district. So Sue, you have been right there with me, most of the time. Ashley, tonight, when you talked about your 2 daughters, coming to school here, we all know I have 2 daughters as well. I gotta tell you, I feel the exact same way, that they are who they are today because of this school system and the teachers and the administrators that they, have, and the Board of Education supporting those programs, that they love, from sports to music, et cetera. So I want to thank both of you, for my time and getting to know both of you. Thank you for your support with all of the mental health initiatives, your support during COVID when I was the fun COVID coordinator. Fun times.
I forgot you were the COVID coordinator.
And just know, it was fun times. Thank you, Dr. Graham, as the person and the superintendent. I know, right? We're terrible. And just know that you've left Grand Island, better than when you started. So I truly thank you for that legacy. And again, as Danielle said, it's not, definitely not for naught.
I'm all set.
Sweet. Just pass it on. Hear about
I just want to say thank you for this opportunity. It's been a really great experience doing this. It's very eye-opening to see what goes on behind the scenes in school, what a lot of people don't see, and it's a whole different level of appreciation I have of how schools run. And just thank you guys, and come out and vote next week.
I also want to say thank you for this experience. Out of all the activities that I've been involved in through my high school years, this is definitely one of the most impactful ones I've been a part of. And I'm really grateful for the leadership skills and things I've learned from all of you guys that I know I'll be taking into my future career. Thank you.
Thank you. Sienna and Charlotte, I hope you know genuinely how proud everybody around this table are with respect to your leadership and how you've represented your fellow students. It's going to be a pleasure to hand you a diploma and to celebrate with you. And we can't wait to see what happens next down the road. Always know that once a Viking, always a Viking. Come back and share your experiences. I know you have favorite teachers and favorite activities, and we really appreciate what you have to offer. I did prepare a couple remarks. Ashley, since joining the board, since 2017, I started in 2016, and you really have brought, and forgive me if I read a little bit, because I just want to make sure I share what my thoughts were. You have brought a powerful and important perspective to our work, not only mine as a superintendent, but everything that we do, right? And you were so eloquent today in sharing that. I just was very proud to hear you speak about that and about everything, right? About your journey as an educator, your journey as a single mom, your journey raising two beautiful daughters. So we have been deeply impacted, not only by you as a trustee, but by you as a board president. And we really respect what you have brought to the table. We're going to celebrate you, is it this week? Thursday. We're going to celebrate you with the Erie County Association of School Boards. Your leadership has always been grounded in really what matters most, right? And the experience of children in our classrooms, you as a teacher in Lewiston Porter, you're constantly challenging us to think of the educators, think of the SRP. You've been a strong, everybody here, but you've been a very big voice in supporting our school-related professionals. It doesn't go unnoticed. So as you conclude your time with us as a board, for our community, it's just really amazing that Ashley has a doctorate. She has a master's. She has one in administration, right? One in special ed. She went back to school. She went back to school and got another degree. And she envisions herself as serving children that maybe are the most vulnerable children in our society as a social worker. I mean, that really goes to the conviction and your compassion. So I just want to thank you for all you do. All right, well done. Sue, 13 years. So in 2016, you helped hire me. I've been here 10 years, going to be starting my 11th year in July, and your time as a trustee and as a board president has certainly moved me in so many important ways. You've challenged my leadership. You have helped evaluate, along with the board, the work that I do. And the amount of time, energy, and effort as a Grand Island alum doesn't go unnoticed, right? These roles around the table often go underappreciated. It's about public service, and I think you were awarded Citizen of the Year maybe, I don't know if it was I don't remember what year that was, I think it was maybe my third year here as a superintendent. But it was about everything that you had done up to that point, not only on the board, but on PTAs and fighting for playgrounds, and now, exponentially fighting for the Grand Island School Business Alliance. You did not have to come up with a cruise night fundraiser, but you were driven to do that, right? And we have 2 students here who received scholarships today based on the Grand Island School Business Alliance and your passion for students, your passion for the school district. You graduated in 1999, I think? Or in the 80s, okay.
Just put it out there, 87. Molly will call it out if I don't.
And there's no doubt that you loved and love the district, not only as a student, but now as a parent, and now as a trustee and a president of our board. Your service truly has shaped the work that we do and the direction that we're going in, and there is still a lot to celebrate, even though we're up against some challenging times. But it's about leadership, right? It's about leadership of you and Ashley and the rest of the board, standing for your own convictions, allowing us to go back out to a revote, and having faith in our community, the community that really loves these schools, right? And truly, you've been a part of those important conversations, the difficult decisions, the celebrations, the challenges, and the moments of growth throughout. And we aren't perfect. And we've talked about that for 10 years, that we have a growth mindset. We don't have a fixed mindset. We see where we can get better, and we see where the board supports us in getting better. Cheryl mentioned it a few minutes ago in the roundtable, how valuable your leadership and the board's leadership has been in adding mental health services, making sure that every employee in the school district is trained with youth mental health first aid, allowing us to empower our own people to do that training, right? And so many more things to celebrate. So we are grateful for all that you have contributed to the community, and we know that this isn't the end. I'm pretty sure there will be some other things that we can discuss with your leadership in the future, but truly you have left us better than when you started. So congratulations for all that you've done for us.
So barring that the vote goes our way on June 16th, this is my last meeting. So get out and vote on June 16th. June 28th is graduation. I will be there on stage to congratulate my graduating class. Everybody knows I do not like to speak, so I'm so excited to say that Jay will be speaking at graduation, and I'm really excited to pass that to him because he does have a daughter graduating this year. So I really think that it'll be more meaningful for him to speak at graduation than myself, but I will be there. Graduation is my favorite thing. It's probably one of the things I will miss most about being a board trustee, but I will be at graduation. And then July 6th is your reorg meeting. Sorry, I won't be there, but with that said, I want to make sure that we add the special education PTA. We got it. I told them I would mention it. So if she's watching, I don't want her to think I missed it. So just make sure that the special education PTA gets on there so they have a liaison. And I'm sure there will be a lot of people interested in it. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting. Oh, no, I didn't ask for a motion, right? At, 9:32. If I can get a motion. And a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Nay, no, I'm just kidding. Motion carried 7-0. Thank you.